Hello guys, welcome to another session. In this session, we are going to discuss about JSX. So let's start our discussion. So in our earlier session, we have discussed about the class component and prior to that session, we have also discussed about the functional component. And while designing the user interface, we have used some HTML, something like this, where we are returning the HTML tags. And I was keep on saying that this is not an HTML, this is a JSX. Same is the case with the functional component. Here also I was returning h1 tag. Now this is the time where we will discuss about what actually this JSX is. So if you go by definition, then I will tell that JSX is a markup language used in order to create React elements. And as per the definition, we are doing the same thing over here. We are creating the markup. Then you must be asking that if the syntax looks like an HTML, behaves like an HTML, then why it is not an HTML? Why we are calling it as a JSX? This is because the creator of React wanted to give the front-end developer a tool that they were familiar with so that they will not go for another learning curve to design the UI. So they decided that they should build JSX similar to HTML. And whenever we are writing JSX syntax, then under the hood, so many processing happen by the React framework and then it is being displayed onto the web page. So that means if you are creating a div element, h1, header and all those elements which is used within HTML, and if you are writing within JSX, that will be processed back to the HTML code. For example, if you are looking over here, then you will find that we have applied the style, a class over here into the JSX with the properties called class name, which is being converted to class in the HTML when this page is being displayed. So to prove you the point, let's look into the output. So let's jump into the browser. So here we are having the output like this. Now let's inspect it, the header element, right click on it, click on inspect, and then you will find that here we are getting the header. The name of the class is being converted to the HTML class. Earlier it was class name, which we generally use whenever we are using the class name in JSX. We will learn about class name whenever we will learn JSX styling in the upcoming session. But here the intention to show you this is that under the hood it is being converted to class, that is JSX class name is being converted to HTML class. So now let's proceed further. So now the question comes over here is how all these magics happen, that is how JSX is being converted to HTML. So to convert from JSX to normal HTML, modern browser uses transpiler. So how this works, modern browsers such as Chrome, Safari or Firefox don't understand JSX directly. So how does JSX fit into all this? So this is where Babel comes into play. Babel is a build tool used in your development environment that is used to convert the JSX into pure JavaScript. And this allows you to build modern apps using JSX without having to worry about rendering mechanism. Babel is not a single transpiler available. There are other variety of transpiler available, but Babel is mostly used. So now let's proceed further. Another point which I wanted to let you know about React is that is JSX is not only the way by which you can design the user interface. You can design your React application by other way as well with the help of React Create element. So let's do an example without using the JSX. We are going to create a user interface. So now let's create a header component without using JSX. So let's create it. First we will comment this out and then we will specify return, and over here we need to tell that React dot create element, and over here we need to specify which element I want to create. So first I will tell that h1 tag, so specify over here h1, and the second parameter we need to specify the optional parameter. So what we will tell that we want to create a class. So let's specify that. So we will tell that class, and the class is going to be header, and the third argument we need to specify what text I want to print. So here I want to print the same one, header with arrow. So let's copy it and save it. Now let's look into the output, what output we will get. And here you will find that there is no difference, and you can check over here it has applied the class as well. So let's inspect it and see here it has created the header element h1, and over here it has applied the class header. So let's change the text over here. Close this one, go to the Visual Studio Code, header with arrow and we will tell that without JSX. Save it. Let's jump into the browser, and here you will find the output. So now let's proceed further. So this is the another way by which you can create the React component without using JSX. But the problem with this approach, you have to write so many code as well as you have to maintain the nesting of the DOM elements. And that is really a very cumbersome task when your codes get increased and your component is having so much of nested element. Then on that time, writing such code is very difficult and very difficult to manage as well. So it is always preferred to use the JSX version of the code. So let's comment this one and let's enable this one, save it. Let's jump into the browser to see the output again. So we have reverted back to the JSX. So now I hope you have enjoyed this session and you have understand that how we can create component using JSX and how we can create component without using JSX. So this is what I wanted to demonstrate you in this session. In the next session we will discuss about props. So on this note I am stopping over here. See you in the next session. Till then, bye bye, take care.